Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and please, if this is your first time here, I'm happy to have you here, trust me. But please do me a favor, subscribe before you go. Thank you so much. So the last update about Jodha and AKBAR was how Hamida was furious with Jalal, and Hamida asked Jalal to go and look for Jodha and bring Jodha back. And Jodha was seen with her God wandering around because Jodha could not go back home because her mother has ever warned her before that she must never come back to Amero if she did not come with Jalal. But this time around, she's having a fight with Jalal. So how can she go with Jalal? So Jalal decided to go out and look for Jodha. That was the last update. Let's continue from there. Javeda comes back to the palace blabbering that where has Ma'am Anga gone to? And Ma'am Anga comes there and asks Javeda that what happened. Javeda says Ma'am Anga and she was very happy. And Javeda asks Ma'am Anga and says that she thought that Ma'am Anga is dead in the jungle. And Ma'am Anga says jungle? Javeda says yes, she was following Ma'am Anga because she wanted to ask her some questions, but she has forgotten the question now. And Ma'am Anga says that she knows that Javeda's question must be some silly questions, and Javeda could have asked her later. Ma'am Anga says that she wants to clear one thing, that Javeda should never follow her again, and Javeda says that she thought that a wild animal would eat Ma'am Anga, so she was worried and she followed her to save her. And Ma'am Anga says that she knows that Javeda really cared for her, and actually, Jalal was worried these days, so she went to Pir Shahab to pray for him. And Javeda should never tell anybody about this. And Javeda says okay and she leaves. Ma'am Anga thinks that it could have been someone else that would have followed her just like Javeda did, so she have to be very careful. Jalal was running on the horse and he thinks that he is going to Jodha to bring her back and he is sorry, so Jodha should please forgive him. Oshia comes to Rukaya and says that she came here to take care of Rukaya, and Oshia asks that why is Rukaya worried. Rukaya says that she thought that Jodha was cheating on Jalal, so she was happy that Jodha would lose Jalal soon. But after knowing the truth, she cannot ignore the goodness of Jodha, and Jodha was only trying to save her Jalal all along. Oshia says that he never understands Rukaya because before now, Rukaya hates Jodha, but now, Rukaya is feeling bad for Jodha. Rukaya says that if the allegation was true, then she would have been happy that Jodha is gone, but nothing like that happened, and this would draw Jalal and Jodha closer, and their relationship is now stronger than before, so how can she be happy? Oshia says that why is Rukaya thinking so much? Because Jalal will come back to her because she is Jalal's best friend, and Oshia put his hand on Rukaya's shoulder, but Rukaya shouted at Oshia to stay in his limit, and Rukaya jacks Oshia's hand away from her shoulder. In the night, Jalal was staying for some time, and he looks at Jodha's anklets that he got in Gangwa, and he thinks that the time is weird, because today he is listening to his heart, and he has never thought that he would ever be in love, but see, he is already in love with Jodha. Jalal says that people do weird things in love, and he is so much restless to miss Jodha and say sorry now, because he is in love, and Jalal asks his soldiers to sleep. Jalal comes to his tent and lays on the bed, and he remembered Jodha throwing water on Rahim standing in the lake, and how he also got drenched, and he smiles and says that he accepts that he always feels good to irritate Jodha. And Jalal also remembered how he asked Jodha to go from Agra, and he sits and becomes sad again. In the morning, Jalal got to Amero and Barma and Meenavati welcomes him. Jalal meets them with sadness on his face, and Meenavati does archery for Jalal, and Barma says that he is very happy to see Jalal, and he asks Jalal to come in. Jalal was sitting for lunch and Meenavati asked him to eat more, and Barma says that can he ask why Jalal came to Amero. Jalal says that he thought that they would know why he came and did Jodha, and before Jalal could finish his statement, Meenavati says yes, she wants to know how Jodha is doing. Meenavati says that why did Jodha not come with Jalal, and because Jodha is getting love in Agra doesn't mean that she will forget them, and Jalal was shocked that Jodha is not in Amero. Jalal says that Jodha is not here, so where is she then? Barma asks that is Jodha not in Agra, and Jalal says no. Barma asks that why, and Jalal tells them everything that happened, and Jalal says that he thought that Jodha would come here, but Jodha did not, so he have to leave now to find Jodha. But Barma says that Jalal should stay behind and the soldiers will go to find Jodha, and Barma orders the soldier to go and find Jodha everywhere. In Agra, Hamida was worried and she says to Salima that it is simple that Jodha can be lost somewhere and she would not want to come in front of Jalal so easily. Rukaya says that Hamida is wrong for not eating anything because when Jodha returned, She would not like it to see Hamida like this, and she would not forgive herself for Hamida's bad health. Rukaya says that she knows that she doesn't like Jodha, but she loves Hamida a lot, and if it is not for her, then Hamida should please eat something for her daughter Jodha, and Rukaya makes Hamida eat. Salima says thanks to Rukaya, but Rukaya says that Salima should not thank her because she have the same perception and hatred for Jodha till now, but she doesn't want Hamida to be hurt, and Rukaya leaves. In Amel, Meenavati was crying and her relatives asked her to be strong because Jodha will come back soon. Meenavati says no, Jodha will not come to Amel because she has once asked Jodha to only come to Amel with Jalal, otherwise this palace is not for her, so because of that, Jodha would not want to come to Amel. Meenavati says that she have a black tongue and she tries to cut it. Balma comes there and says that he promised to bring Jodha back home soon, so Meenavati should please relax. Outside, Jalal was in Amel Palace and Jalal was sad. Balma comes there and asks that why is Jalal not sleeping. Jalal says that till he asks for forgiveness from Jodha, then he would not be at peace. And Balma says that Jalal came running to Jodha and maybe Jodha is on her way to Amel as well. Jalal says no, Jodha is not on her way to Amel because he would have seen her when he was coming. Jalal says that his mind says that Jodha is alone in the night and he will go to see her. Balma says that the soldiers has gone to look for Jodha and he knows that Jodha is strong enough to keep herself to safety. And Balma thinks that he is also worried for his daughter and he doesn't know whether Jodha is okay or not. Jalal says sorry to Balma for hurting them, and Balma says that Jalal should not do that because he knows that Jalal cared for his daughter a lot and he can see Jalal's love and tension for Jodha in his eyes, and this would never break their relationship and Jodha would come. Jalal says that he would wait till morning and Balma leaves and Jalal sit and prays to Allah that if he truly has a pure heart, then Allah should please protect Jodha. The next morning, Jalal says to Balma that he would go and find Jodha now. Balma says that maybe Jodha will still come to Amel, but Jalal says that he knows that Balma is also worried for Jodha, and Jalal says to Meenavati that he hurt two mothers, but he promised that he would find Jodha and he would never hurt her again. Jalal says that he is sorry, but Meenavati says that Jalal should not talk like this. Jalal says that it was his mistake and he will return after finding Jodha, and he knows that God would protect Jodha, but he will go to find her because he cannot live without her. And Jalal says to Balma that he is leaving, but Balma says that it is not safe for Jalal to go, but Jalal says that he would go, but if Jodha comes to Amel after he leaves, then Balma should please inform him, and Jalal leaves. The women consoles Meenavati that Jalal loves Jodha a lot and he would find Jodha. Jodha was tired walking and she comes to some religious people and asks for water, and the man says okay. Jodha says that she was staying in the temple before, but some people said that she will get a place here in the village, and the man says yes, Jodha can stay with them, and the man gives Jodha water. Jodha says that she only asks Bangles to pay for the rent, but the man says that there is no need for Jodha to pay for the rent because Todalmal is the one looking after the people and the welfare of the center, so Jodha will stay with them for free. And Jodha thinks that she has heard that name called Todalmal before, and Jodha thinks and says thank you to the man. Jalal was finding Jodha and he asked some ladies about her, but they says that they haven't seen her. In Agra, Sharafuddin says that even though Jodha is not here, but he can feel her presence. And what do Jodha got by marrying Jalal? Because Jodha would have been happy with him instead, and Jalal allowed Jodha to go, but if it was him? Bakshi comes there and asks that what if it was Sharafuddin? And Sharafuddin says that Bakshi needs to rest, but Bakshi asks Sharafuddin to tell her what he would have done if he was in Jalal's place. Sharafuddin says that Jodha was doubted and now Bakshi is joining his name with Jodha's issues. Bakshi says that she can see Jodha's love in Sharafuddin's eyes, and Sharafuddin grabs Bakshi's hand and says that if he look at another woman, then it is Bakshi's fault, and Bakshi should make sure that she doesn't lose him again, and Sharafuddin lifts Bakshi's hand, and Bakshi says that her hand was bleeding. Jalal comes to some village and asks some men about Jodha, but nobody knows her and Jalal keeps finding Jodha. And Jalal comes to the temple and asks someone at the temple that he is looking for a Rajvanshi woman and she is about 20 years old and she has Kana idol in her hands, and have they seen her? And the man says yes, he saw the woman here a while ago, and Jalal asks the man to bring that woman, and Jalal says that he is here Jodha and he is here to take her back home and thank God that Jodha is safe. The woman that the man was talking about comes out, but it was not Jodha, and Jalal says that this is not the person he was looking for, and Jalal gets sad and thinks that why is Jodha so far from him, and he doesn't know how Jodha is doing now. In Agra, Salima prays for Jodha's safety, and Rukaya comes there and asks Salima if everything is alright. Salima says that how can things be alright in this situation when nobody knows how Jodha is doing. Rukaya says that she thinks that Jodha is safe, and maybe Jodha is in Amer, and Jodha is a Rajvanshi, and she must have got some jewels that can help her, and also Jalal will bring her back. Salima says that the question is whether Jodha will come back with Jalal, because Jodha must have hidden herself in a place where nobody can find her, because Jodha has a high self-esteem, and what happened with her was not good. Rukaya says that maybe she doesn't know Jodha, but she knows Jalal, that if Jodha did not accept Jalal's apology, then Jalal will leave Jodha, because Jalal also cares about his self-respect. Salima says that relationships are greater than attitude, and sometimes someone have to leave his or her ego for one's heart, and Salima leaves. Rukaya smiles and says that Salima doesn't even know that Jalal doesn't have a heart. I don't know why this Rukaya always feel like she knows everything about Jalal. Meanwhile, reverse is the case. In the village, Jodha comes out after taking a bath, and she prays to Kana that when everyone were away from her, Kana stayed with her and gave her a place in this center to live, so thanks to Kana. Jodha also prays that Hamida, Salima and Jalal should be safe, because she cannot take Jalal out of her heart, and may Jalal be safe and remains happy, and God should not make him sad about her. And Jodha cries and says that she wasn't able to win Jalal's trust and love, but she hoped that Jalal remains at peace, and Jalal should be safe and healthy always. Somewhere else, Jalal continues on his journey, and the soldier says that Jalal must be tired, but Jalal says that he would never rest and he would not stop until he finds Jodha. Jodha finished her prayers and sees her Kana idol missing, and Jodha comes out and sees one girl running away with her idol. Jodha runs behind the girl and asks her to give her back her idol. Jalal got to a place and he saw one woman making rotis, and Jalal remembered how Jodha made roti for him when they went to Prestristi. Some Rajvanshi soldiers comes there and says that Barma said that if Jalal find any clue about Jodha, then Jalal should inform him. And Jalal sits and thinks that where is Jodha? And Jodha should please come back, and why is Jodha making him take this difficult exam? Okay, we are at the end of the video again. Thank you so much guys for watching till the end, and please, if you like this video, which I know you like it, please give it a thumbs up already, and please share this video, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video. Bye guys.